Welcome to the Gag Is podcast with me, your host, Charlie Shantae, where I share the roller coaster of my life, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. After becoming a teen mom at 14 and a widow by the age of 21, it's a journey filled with tears and laughter, reminding you that even in the toughest moments, there's hope. The gag is, life may be unpredictable, but it's always worth living.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the TheGagIsPod. I am your girl, Charlie Shantae. Thank you for joining me on another episode. Happy Friday to you, or if you listen to this some other day, happy weekday or weekend to you. Thank you for joining me on another episode. We're going to go ahead and jump on in this thing because I felt like there was something I was supposed to say, but I forgot. So go ahead and grab your drink, grab your snack, whatever it is you grab when you listen to this, or if you driving and listen to this, go ahead and turn them ears on high so that you can absorb everything that we got going on today. I guess I can say today's a special episode. Or it's a special topic. We're gonna go with that. It's a special day, special topic. One that I am not shattered by doing anymore. Let's say that. So, like I said, grab your drinks, grab your snacks, whatever. Make sure your volume's good if you're driving. And before all of that, before we jump in, make sure you are following, make sure you are going and hitting the little plus sign that's in the top right hand corner of whatever platform that you're listening on, so that every time a new episode is dropped, you get it automatically. You ain't got to worry about if it's a new episode out, because if you following me and you hit that plus sign, you're going to already get it. All you got to do is tune in and listen. Make sure you're following us on the TheGagIsPod on Instagram, and it's the same handle on YouTube. All right, let's go ahead and jump into today's episode. So, today's episode, on Tuesday was the 18th year anniversary of my husband passing away. And, it always sucks because like the beginning of the year is like, we have a new start to the year, but I know just 35 days later, it's like one of the most terriblest days of my life, and it's like, so it's like you going from being on this high to, being like, dang, like he's really gone. But this year has been a, better year because I go to therapy and, I do what I'm supposed to do and I retain the information, but it seems like when I retain the information, I don't act on the information like I'm supposed to. So I'll be told something and I'll be like, okay, yes, I got it. And then I really don't have it. And then out of the blue, I got it. I just have it. I'm starting to learn, two things can be true at the same time. And what I'm learning is the two things that can be true is I can miss him like hell all I want to, and I don't have to be sad. And I know you're probably like, oh, that sounds weird. I miss him and then I get super sad, and I feel like I've been forcing myself to be sad, because if I remember the day and I'm not sad, it makes it, in my mind, the way my mind works, it's kind of like, oh, you forgot about him, sis, because today the day that he died and you ain't even sad. But things can be true. You can acknowledge and you can move on. You don't have to be stuck in just that one space. And I think this year I'm finally understanding that you acknowledge the day and you weren't sad. You didn't have to be sad. You acknowledged the day and you didn't have to stop your whole life. You didn't have to say, oh my God, like this is just so sad, and just bawl and cry. I acknowledged and I kept my day going. Have I had some rough days leading up? Absolutely. I've had some insomnia days. I've had a few panic attacks, and stuff like that. But I know that that's part of it, not because I remember the panic attacks, because my body is trying to forget. And since my body is trying to forget, it's kind of like, if you forget, you're wrong. And then like the other part of my brain's like, no, 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 that's not healthy. That's not what's going on here. And it's kind of like, oh, okay. So I acknowledged and I continued on with my day. And it was just as simple as that. And I've made it through another year. I can't believe it's been 18 years, because I'm like, 18 years ago, I was 21, had just turned 21. And now here I am, going to be 40 this year. And it's like my whole adulthood, I've been a widow, and that is super crazy. Um, it's just super crazy. So, the way that some people, when you're 21 and you're learning lessons and you're finding out and stuff like that, like I didn't have the opportunity to do that, because it's like I turned 21, I got drunk, and then a few weeks later, I had to be a widow. And I'm like, I gotta be something that I don't even know how to be. I don't even know nobody that's been this to ask for guidance. Uh, so I just got to go and I got to figure it out. And it wasn't until I was like in my 30s that I started figuring it out. And, I've let so much time go and so much time pass me by. And I feel like I'm about to have to start playing catch up, because it's kind of like, why didn't I catch this in like my 20s? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it just making sense now in my 30s? Like, that's crazy, but instead of dwelling on what I couldn't grasp in my 20s, I'm going to go ahead while I know now and go ahead and make it right, and not beat myself up, and not beat myself up about it, because I was still a kid. And for so long, it's like when something happens and somebody passes away, like that day is forever. Right. And so sometimes it sucks, but sometimes I feel like I'm still in the mindset of that 21-year-old who lost her husband and there were kids involved, and I have to remember, like, no, you're not that 21-year-old. The day is tragic, but you evolved from there, and you've evolved so much. And I'm just like, okay, you're right. So I'm getting very proud of myself. And, people tell me all the time, they're like, I don't understand how you lost your husband and you had, in your early 20s, and, you still managed to go on and not lose it, not get addicted to drugs and all of this kind of stuff. And I'm like, God, because that's the only reason. Did I have a brief stint with alcohol? Absolutely, I did. And, for a long time, I couldn't admit that, but I did for a minute. I had for about 2.5 years. For about 2.5 years, I had a severe battle with alcohol. And I think the only reason why it got better is because I got pregnant with New Face, like, to be honest with you. So, I've had to learn hard lessons, and, but I'm grateful for where I am today. Super grateful for where I am today. So I want to roll into, one of my little mini topics. And over the past year, I've been seeing a lot of stuff online, right? And, social media has become the best and the worst thing possible, because you can use it to keep in contact with people, and you can use it to share information, and you can also use it to tear down people. And over the past year, I don't know how, I probably like to post one day. I don't know. But I ended up like I started seeing these posts about widows and grieving and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, like, let me check these out. And, cause I was like, they were Black women. So I was like, I can resonate and, relate to them. Let me check these people out. I started, I went on a couple of pages, and then, like one page leads to another page and the suggestions. And I was like, okay, cool. So there is actually a network out here of Black women who share their stories upon grief. And as I started taking a deeper dive into it, I started to realize that I, how can I put this without this sounding nasty? Okay. I'm going to call it grief for pay. Not saying that. So let me explain that. Grief for pay is we're grieving, your life is in shambles, and I've been there, I've done that, I know how to get through it, but I'm going to charge you to help you get through it. I don't agree with that, because it's kind of like, why can we not lift each other up for free? Like, why is your product helping sad people? Like, why are you charging to help sad people? I'm in the same boat as y'all, respectively. And, even though they're Black women, I personally, now, not saying that this is not there, I personally have not come across a Black woman who is a widow at my age. Like I say, I'm not saying that this has never happened. Not saying that it's not out there. I just haven't come across it yet. But most of the ones that I see, they're like late 20s, early 30s, and even in the 40s. And it's like, why say, are you sad? You can't figure it out, sis. Well, do you need a community? Why do I got to pay to be in the community? You know what I'm saying? We all going through the same thing. Why do I got to pay to be in the community? I don't think that's cool. My podcast dedicated to Black women who are widows, dedicated to all women who are widows. And guess what? Y'all can listen for free, because none of the places you listen cost money. So I'm helping you in a sense, but I'm not charging you to help you get better, because that just doesn't sit right with me. And, sitting in front of a camera crying, like, that doesn't, now these are just my opinions, y'all, so don't come for me. That just don't sit well with me, because, like, how long did you have to sit there and drum that up to cry? And we all know, as a society, we like it when people are sad and it's drama filled and different things like that. That's not just me. Have I had some episodes where I have cried? And yeah, and them is episodes that I unintentionally cry. I can't just sit here and go, okay, on a count of 3, I'm just going to bust out. I'm just going to bust out crying, and then I'm going to start talking, and it's going to be dramatic. And then people are going to be like, it's okay, keep your head up. I can't do that. I just can't do that. And I don't knock anybody's journey or how they deal or how they process, but it do make me question, are you really that sad? Not saying that in a bad way, but it's kind of like, you know how to keep it and hold it together. But when you squeezing your eyes real hard and you making the one tear fall, I can't take you serious. Can't take you serious. Like I said, not knocking anybody's journey, not knocking anything like that. But just, to me, it just does not sit well with me. Like, if I had products like a journal or something like that, I understand, like, hey, do you need an outlet to write and, get those thoughts out? Absolutely, I'm going to charge. But am I going to charge you to watch me cry on camera and stuff like that? Absolutely not. Not finna do that. It just does not sit right with me. I actually got my topics today, y'all. Then and now, 21, being a widow. I tried to go back, because when he passed away, I was on my MySpace, and I tried to go back and look at what I had written, but MySpace has wiped it. And then I guess my emails were too old, and Gmail got rid of my emails from him. No, Yahoo got rid of my emails from him. So I don't know. Let me know what y'all like. Is there somebody I can reach out to make, like, maybe retrieve those? Because that's kind of all I got from him, our emails and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to look into that. But year 18, then and now, Then like I told y'all previously, I did battle with alcohol for a little bit, but like I was off the chain, y'all. Like I was out here riding motorcycles, almost crashed a few times, and I was out here living life on what we call the edge. Just the edge is right here, and I was right here. I was out here living life on the edge. I attempted to go to therapy, and I quit going. And this is why I quit going for a long time, because when I went, the dude was like, "You just sad." Yes, sir, I am sad. I'm sad because I just lost my whole life partner, and that's all you got to offer for me. But I should have known that this middle-aged white man couldn't offer me any condolences about losing my black husband. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it was. And I didn't go back to therapy for a long time. I was like, I can deal with this. I can deal with this, whatever. And, I couldn't deal with it. Okay. I couldn't deal with it. And, I was just making bad choices and bad decisions and just waking up like, okay, what we going to do today? I don't even know what we're going to do today. Like, we just going to I'm just going to wake up and be a mom today. And that's all it's going to be. And that's all I literally did for about 7 years. I just 8 years. That's all I did. I just woke up without a purpose. But now, and again, I find, had to go through my 20s, and now I'm in my 30s and I'm getting better. And I'm taking the opportunity to enact and, flourish in the things that I did not, after it happened. I'm finally starting to put the pieces together and, get myself together, because there are some areas that, I feel like I'm too old to be trying to start and thriving. But then I realize that you're never too old to do anything. Um, you know, just because it didn't happen in your 20s, doesn't mean that it can't happen for you. And so now I'm like brick by brick by brick trying to take what I've learned over the past 18 years and finally make the foundation and finally start to build on the foundation. And it's still rough sometimes. There are still days where it don't make sense, but I still have my angry days, and I'm like, like, why did you leave me? Like, that was selfish. Or you like, why did you leave the kids? Like, we got grandkids now. Like, why did you leave? Like, why would you do that? Like, that's so selfish of you. But then I have to realize he's gone in the physical, but he's forever our angel. Cause I know I be out here doing stuff, and he be like, "Oh my God, like, girl," and I be like, sorry, sir." But I'm finally taking the time and putting it together. I've started to lay the foundation, and things are starting to get good, get better. I'm having an understanding. I have to. I'm starting to not grief sabotage. That's probably not a word, but it's my word. Grief sabotage, and to me, grief sabotage is making yourself feel sad and, basking and sitting in that. You know what I'm saying? So, over the weekend, I had a day where I ate pizza. I had 2 ice cream sandwiches, and that's just what it was. I woke up the next day and I was back on my health, and, like, eating how I was supposed to. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, my trainer told me, she's like, "It's nothing wrong with that." She said, "You just can't sit in that." And that's exactly what happened. But while I'm eating pizza and eating ice cream sandwiches, there go y'all weekly episode yawn. Even though I'm eating pizza and I'm eating ice cream sandwiches, I didn't go full blown crazy, because the whole day I drank water. So, I have my days that I sit in it and I don't let it carry on. Whether that be I have to come in my room, or I have to just go somewhere and I have to do something, I sit in it and I get out of it. Because when you sit somewhere too long, you get complacent, and then complacent doesn't get you anywhere. So I had that day, I had me, them ice cream sandwiches were busting hard, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, they was the cookie ones with the ice cream. Don't get me started. So, I sit, I get over, I get over it is so strong. I work through it, I process it, and um, yeah, I wake up the next day, refreshed, and, that's just what it is. So y'all know last year I started back there. Well, I started back with my psychiatrist real heavy, and whatnot. And, when I went to see her last month, she gave me some homework. She was like, cause I told her, I said, I've been fumbling and toying with the idea of opening his belongings box. So when a person passes away in the military, they put their stuff in these foot lockers and then they ship it to you. So I have a foot locker that has all the letters we ever wrote, has his personal belongings and all of that. And like nobody's allowed to touch it. It's in the garage. It's sealed up. Nobody can touch it. Like I I have I, before this incident, I've been in my house for 7 years. I probably have not opened that in 6 years. Um, you know, and I want to go through it. And as time goes on, I keep stuff. And then there's some stuff that I can let go. Like our letters, I'll never let go of those letters. But there's like, okay, so let me back up. So my psychiatrist gave me homework. She said, I think if you're ready, go ahead and open the box. And I said, okay. So I was hyping myself up. I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna do this box. I'm gonna do this box. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna pick a day and I'm gonna do it. And then I noticed when I said I was gonna pick a day and I was gonna do it, my anxiety kicked in. I was like, this ain't gonna work. And a couple weeks ago, I was in the garage throwing something away and I opened the box, just unintentionally, unplanned, whatever. Just opened it, picked up a letter, read it, closed the box, came back in the house. And it was nothing. It was closure. And I'm trying to figure out why at year 18 I'm seeking so much closure. I don't understand, but I never question God and I never question when something happens. And I didn't cry. I didn't do anything. I I didn't get sad. I like literally went on about my day. I came in the house. I text Nick. I said, I opened a box. I'm okay. And she's like, oh my God, what? She was like, are you okay? Do you need anything? Do you need me to come? And I was like, nope, I'm good. I'm okay. And it felt so good to say that, like, I'm good. I'm okay. Like it felt super duper good to say that. Um, and I still been in car. I think I got a little numb and then I got into this thing where I was just like, okay, I'm just going to clean. I'm just going to let the day go. But this is like not your regular, like, let me make sure the line. This was like, I went into a deep clean tailspin. And after it was all said and done, I still had piles and stuff because like when it wore off, I was just like, okay. And I, I've been so at peace with opening that box, but I don't know if I have right now, if I'm able to go back and open it up. I don't know if I'm ready for that just yet, but knowing that I opened it and I didn't have a meltdown, I want to say that's step one. She told me, she said, when you come back, I need you to tell me that you opened that box. And I was like, yeah, you asked too much right now, but I'm glad I did it. I read a letter. It brought a smile to my face. And it was just like, case closed. And it's like, well, what am I seeking closure for? Like, I don't know. I don't get it, but it felt good. I think it did hit me a couple days later. I still didn't cry, but it hit me like, okay, he's really gone. He really gone. Um, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm okay. I think I'm shocked that I'm okay because I expected to open this box and just be in a turmoil and just be in shambles, but I'm okay. I'm okay. And it feels good to say that I'm okay. Like, I'm okay. I'm okay. Oh, you good, sis. Like, you're getting better. And I didn't have to I didn't, in my mind, I was going to turn it into a vlog. Like, I'm going to take y'all on this journey with me to open this box for the first time in 6 years, 7 years. And, we're going to see how it goes so that I can look back on it and see where I came from. And that didn't happen. So I think maybe the next time I do it, I bring y'all along with me, just to do it and to get it and to see it, get done. Like I said, one of the reasons why I opened it, is I, I, I'm not, I wouldn't say letting go of the past. I'll just say moving forward from the past and then realizing that material things, yes, they do remind you, but material things are not the memories, if that makes sense. Because like everything, so this bear right here, you can't see his face all the way, has pins and insignias on it from when we both were in the military. And this was a bear that was given to me, at his funeral by his best friend. And, I hold on to stuff like that. That I'll probably never get rid of. If anything, I'll pass it down to the grandbabies, but like throw it away, like I can't do. But I have some stuff that like balloons, like when I got balloons, like I have the foil balloons that are deflated. That stuff, I can let that stuff go because I have the pictures. I'll always, remember that memory. I don't have to hold on to that stuff. And then I also think, there's going to come a point in time where I'm going to, you know, I'm going to be moved on, new relationship, marriage or whatever. And, I'm, I don't, I don't want to make that person feel uncomfortable. And so I feel like instead of waiting until that day comes where it's kind of like, okay, I'm married and, we're going to combine households or whatever like that, instead of waiting until that day and then it becoming so traumatic, I've already started like my next healing, my next phase of, you know, getting rid of the stuff. I mean, I had to realize it's not against the law. It's not a crime. It doesn't make me a bad person. Like some of the stuff I know what to keep and I wouldn't know what not to keep. Some of the stuff I've had ideas of donating to different museums and different stuff like that. So it's like throwing it away is not the end all be all. It doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It doesn't mean that I'm forgetting or I'm trying to erase him out of my life, and I finally had to tell myself that, like, cut it out, cut the shit out. You fine, girl. Like you grief sabotage and let it go, sis. People always ask me, would I get married again? And the answer is yes, I would. But in the same sense, I'm going to make sure that it is right. And I actually can't wait to the day that I become somebody's wife again. Cause him gonna get a very healed version of me. So yeah, so I'm gonna get married one day, and I hate that y'all be like, it's been so long and you still ain't married yet, and then I'll be like, it's been so long and you've been married and divorced how many times? Like, don't come for me. Like, I do things on my time. I know when the time is right because I want to make sure that I'm good for somebody. I want to make sure that I am not a train wreck and I don't trauma dump and I don't project my feelings of hurt and betrayal from my husband dying on somebody. Okay? Like, let me do this. I got this. I got this, sis. Okay? Don't worry about who gonna change my last name and when they gonna do it. It'll get changed. Just know it will. Okay? That's all you need to know. You need to know who, when, what, how, and why. Okay? I'm gonna get married again. I'm just doing this Charlotte's timing. Okay, it's God's timing, but it's Charlotte and God's timing, okay? That's all you need to worry about. And so yeah, so that's the end of that. We've we've come to, you know what? In last year's episode, I cried. I've gone through the entire episode and I did not cry. Yay. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up with our song lyric of the week. And this week, the song lyric of the week is Yesterday by Leona Lewis. Such a great song. She opens the song by saying, still can't believe that you're gone. And I still can't believe that you're gone, but you know, it's an eternal forever love. Like Lauren London say, grief is the final act of love. So yeah, Leona Lewis, Yesterday is the song lyric of the week. If you have not already, please make sure you are following us on the socials at TheGagIsPod on Instagram, TheGagIsPod on YouTube. And also make sure wherever you listen to your podcast at, you are hitting it's a plus sign in the right hand corner. Make sure you are hitting that so that every time a new episode is released, you are getting that notification and you do not miss out. All right. We out of this thing. Thank you for joining me on another episode. I am your girl, Charlie Shantae. This is the Gag Is Pod. Bye, guys.
Thank you for tuning into the Gag Is podcast. I hope you're enjoying my journey as much as I am enjoying sharing it with you. Before we wrap up, I have a small request. If you found inspiration in my stories or my guest stories, don't forget to share this podcast with your friends and family. Together, we can spread the message of resilience and hope. And if you have a moment, please take a second to rate and review the show on your podcast app. 5 stars, please. Your feedback helps me reach even more listeners who might need a dose of encouragement. Remember, the gag is, life may be unpredictable, but it's always worth living. So until next week, bye guys.